Yo, what's shaking with it, y'all? This is your boy Jay Hood, and you are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Tales from the Hood vlog series, man. You know how niggas give it up. I need everybody to make sure you go download my brand new album entitled S.E.L.F. It's available on all digital streaming platforms. Go run that up for your boy, support somebody real, and fuck with me, man. You hear me? Salute. Okay, with that being said, let's dig right into this shit, man. On today's episode, we're going to speak about Joe Buddens. You know what I'm saying? And all run-ins that we had, and what caused the run-ins. So for those that have been following me for a while, you probably heard me, speak on some of these issues on a few different platforms, but I never dug real deep into what caused the little minor issues, because I wanted to save it for a later date, and that later date happens to be right now. So we're gonna get into it today. Basically, I've been running into Joe since like the early 2000s in the days of the mixtapes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be going, to different parts of Jersey, just bumping into him like sporadically and shit. And on top of just bumping into him sporadically in Jersey, he used to fuck with this chick who happens to be, well, she used to be anyway, a video vixen. And also, she happens to be Aaron Hall's baby mother. She was in the Big Pimpin' Jay-Z video, and that's Gloria Velez. Shout to her. Salute, Glo. I don't mean to bring this up. I don't mean to mention your name together, but, it's part of the story. So he used to fuck with Glo. They had some type of relationship. Glo was running with the murder mommies out of Jersey. You know what I'm saying? The homegirl L and all that. Shout to L, Lady L. Me and Glo had a photo shoot one time downtown in Manhattan. I forgot exactly what the photo shoot was for, but it was like a different type of photo shoot. We did like some hot tub photos and some crazy shit. So when I first got to the place where we was doing the photo shoot at, a nigga like me was, getting right. I'm doing push-ups and shit like that because I knew I had to take my shirt off and all that other shit. So a nigga getting right so I could flex and all that. And I think before they picked me, they had Joe Buddens was supposed to be doing it. I don't know why they decided to pick me instead of him, but for whatever reason they did. So he was there and he seen me doing push-ups and shit. So he's sitting there smoking a Newport like, yo, I used to could do that shit and all this other type of shit. So, he ain't making no big deal out of it. I did the photo shoot and I didn't think anything of it. You know what I'm saying? And sometime after that, it might be a couple weeks after that, maybe a month. I don't really know how long it was, but it wasn't too long after that. I had seen him on this this DVD. It might have been an all access DVD at the time. Excuse me. But he jumped on the DVD and he was with Glo and he kind of was pressing her about hearing the rumor of her fucking with me. He was like, yeah, I heard you was fucking with J Hood. You know what I mean? Like jokingly and shit, but being serious. She like, nah, that's the homie, man. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Da da da. And you know what I'm saying? And he like, what? Nah, I don't believe you, some shit like that. So she like, nigga, get the fuck out of here type shit. So from that moment, I'm like, why the fuck would this nigga even say some shit like that to her? Like, that's some old girly shit. So from right then, I wasn't really feeling him. You know what I'm saying? So, time went past and I kept seeing him and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember one time I seen him in Manhattan after that, and I kind of felt like doing something to him, but I didn't do it. I contemplated. I'm like, yo, should I do this? But it ain't that serious. I ain't even gonna do it because son just brought my name up to him on camera. It ain't like he said nothing sideways, so I'm gonna let this shit rock. So I seen him in the club. I was like 8, 9 deep at the time. He was probably like 3 deep. We had him in VIP, and we could have did something, but we ain't do it. So that's one scenario. I let that shit rock. More time passed. And as he got with Slaughterhouse and shit like that, he, I would hear him throw like little cheap shots out there. You know what I'm saying? Like in little interviews. And then not only him, he got like Royce to throw little cheap shots and shit like that in their interviews as well. Like I fuck with Royce, so shout out to Royce. No problems with the homie, I fuck with him. But at the time, that's the type of shit that they was on, right? So I'm like, yo, this nigga's on some real cornball shit. You feel me? So I'm like, yo, what's wrong with this nigga, man? I'm like, I remember seeing this nigga in the like dead smack in the middle of Jersey City. It was like this hotel party where it was like mad gritty, nigga. Like like mad great, mad gangsters was in there, niggas was in there smoking dust, all type of shit. Niggas was in there doing all type of crazy shit. But I was up in there with like 6 of my homies, right? We pulled up to Jersey. You know, no locks, no nothing. Just me and my niggas. He seen me up in there. He like, oh shit. Bear in mind, I'm taking you back. This is a little bit before, you know what I mean? He started talking all that other crazy shit. So he like, oh shit, yo, who you with? I'm like, who you see me with? See my guys around me. This is who I'm with. He like, oh, Jada, none of them ain't with you. I'm like, no, nigga. Whoever you see me with is who I'm with. And it was like, he was like astonished that I popped up in the hood without nobody. I'm like, nigga, that's nothing. That's what we do. You feel me? So, all right. So let's speed it back up to the shit that I was talking about. So I'm like, I didn't see this nigga. He been fascinated with me being in the hood and all that other type of shit. And I'm like, so this nigga already know what type of time I'll be on. So why this nigga talking crazy like this? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm gonna catch up to this nigga one day. So check it. So I ended up seeing this nigga on what did I see him on? He had mentioned something on was this before or after? I can't remember. He mentioned something on Everyday Struggle. Right? He said some little slick shit. I forgot exactly what he said, but it was some slick shit. So I ended up seeing dude. This was around the time he was fucking with this little young chick from Jersey. Her name started with a K. Little young joint. But anyway, he with her at this club called the Key Club in the Bronx, right next to Mount Vernon and shit. You know what I'm saying? A nigga from Mount Vernon, Yonkers and all that. So that night that he was there, I happened to be there. He was there first. So me and my two homies, we ended up coming inside the club. And as soon as I'm walking in and shit, I go straight to the DJ booth to holler at the homie DJ Suave. So I'm like, yo, Suave, what up, nigga? He like, oh shit, yo, da-da-da. So he on the mic, he like, yo, shout out to my homie J Hood in the building, da-da-da-da. And he like, yo, shout out to Joe Budden in the building. I looked at my homie, I'm like, Joe Budden in the building. So as soon as he said that, you know what I mean? Like, antennas up, man. You know what I mean? The homie like, yo, where that nigga at, man? I'm like, yo, go peep the scene real quick. So the homie went to go peep the scene. We seen that nigga was in the VIP, right? So he like, yo, Hood, what you want to do? I'm like, I'm about to go pull up on that nigga. So we walked through the crowd. We seen who he was with. He was with like 2 other niggas. Security was over there and shit. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, yo, bro, I should go duff this nigga out right now because he's in our backyard. You feel me? Like, you right there borderline of Mount Vernon, right there, the Bronx and shit. So I'm like, yo, we could really make it happen to this nigga. You feel me? If need be. Like I said, we only 2 deep in there, but I can make a call and have the homies right outside. You know what I mean? On some shit where he won't be able to leave type of shit, and niggas could have washed and rinsed him up and hung him out to dry and all that type of shit. So I'm like, you know, I kind of had to decide. I'm like, is it worth it? He's with Shorty and then he with another dude, you know, but he's sitting in the VIP. If anyone went to the Key Club, you know, it's an area on like a stage type of thing. So he's sitting on the couch. But as he's sitting down, he has Shorty, her legs are like diagonally across from his. They like laying on his legs, on his lap type shit, excuse me. So like I said, her legs are laying across his lap. So in order for him to get up, he would have to move her legs and shit. So I'm like, listen, I'm about to get on some real reckless shit. I'm gonna walk straight over to this nigga, punch him in his face, and I might even duff her, you feel me? My man was like, yo, I mean, it's whatever. So I walked over and shit. The nigga seen me. Nigga eyes got big as hell. I walked straight up to the nigga. I'm talking about on some close, like this type of shit. You know what I mean? He's sitting down. I put my hand on the shoulder, you know what I mean, to put pressure on the shit so he couldn't get up. I'm like, yo, what's shaking with you? He looked up and shit. He like, yo, what's good? I still have my hand on the shoulder. I'm like, what's up? He like, I ain't nothing, man. He trying to get up and shit, and I ain't letting him up. So after like 10 seconds, I just took my hand off his shoulder, and he pushed Shorty legs off his lap and shit, and he got up. He like, yo, man. Yo, my nigga, like, you know. I'm like, what you doing here, son? He like, nah, man, ain't nothing, man. I'm just chilling. What you doing here? I'm like, nigga, this the hood. This the backyard. What you mean what I'm doing here, nigga? He like, oh, nah, I feel you. He like, yo, man, nah, but yo, I just want to tell you, man, like, yo, on behalf of me and Royce, you know what I mean? Like, yo, son, like, ain't no issues, my nigga. I just want to tell you, we know how it feel to be blackballed and shit, man. So, you know, that shit ain't really about nothing, you feel me? Like, I'm just telling you like that, we good. I'm like, I looked at him and shit. I'm like, you sure, son? He like, nah, we good, man, we good. You know what I mean? And then his man Ice was behind us. So Ice, he was one of the fake funny niggas on Twitter that used to be trolling that nigga all the time. So I didn't really like him. You feel me? I'm like, yo, just give me a reason. I was waiting for niggas to give us a reason to pop. But niggas ain't really, you know, they ain't really do nothing to provoke it. So we ain't really do nothing. So as he was saying, there ain't no problems. He like, yo, you want a drink? Where you gonna be at? I'll get you a drink. I'm like, nah, I don't need no drink, bro. I get my own drink. You feel me? I'm like, but we gonna be right over there on the floor. So he was like, all right, bet. He reached for a pound and shit. You know, I just gave the nigga a pound, called the homies, and we just walked away. We walked over to the middle of the floor. And then my homie was like, yo, son, what you wanna do, my nigga? Like, you already know what time it is. Like, I'm like, nah, man, let that nigga rock, man. You feel me? It ain't even that serious, G. You already seen what it was just now. And, you know, it ain't even worth it. So we left it like that. And then we ended up leaving. And I forgot how long ago after that, he had mentioned my name again on like one of these, I don't know if it was a podcast or whatever it was, but I checked him. I added him and shit on Twitter. I'm like, yo, dog, what happened? You know what I'm saying? And then I think he was like, yo, nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? So it was just always some funny shit with that nigga. But like I said, I told him and I told Royce, because I spoke to Royce. I'm like, yo, Royce, I respect y'all niggas pen game. Y'all niggas good money with me. You know what I mean? Y'all niggas ain't one of these rappers out here that can't really spit. You know what I mean? And y'all want some garbage shit. So it ain't that I don't respect y'all niggas pen, because y'all niggas are actually rap good. You feel me? So I give y'all niggas y'all props. So, you know, me and Royce was like, nah, you know, I want to, I don't know, I'm not going to say he apologized, but he was like, yo, that's my fault for coming at you like I was coming. Like, back then I was on some alcoholic shit, and I was letting alcohol more or less do the talking for me. So he was on some real grown man shit. So me and him ironed that shit out via Twitter and all that. So, you know, as far as right now, we Gucci. You dig? But that's a little bit of history and a little backstory on me and Joe Budden situation. So, as always, I just wanted to share that with you guys, man. And this ain't no trying to re-spark shit or trying to start any issues with the nigga or nothing like that, because I ain't even on that type of time. I ain't saying, you know what I mean, who better than who, I eat this nigga and I do this and that. I ain't even about that. I'm just sharing the story with y'all niggas, alright? So, till next time. Charles from the Hood.